Joining me now, Brian Lilley is a Rebel media radio host, in Canada, and he's raising money for the children of Sergeant First Class Christopher Speer. He and his wife Tabitha had 2 children, and as you just heard, they have received no money, despite the fact that the person who took their father's life has received an estimated $10.5 million. Brian, thank you for being here. Is this a cautionary tale about what happens when someone is released from Gitmo and goes back home to sort of be subjected to their own country's laws?
Well, this is the sort of thing that outrages Canadians coast to coast. I just want your audience to realize that. There's a poll out showing that even the overwhelming majority of Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party voters don't like this. So voters on the left don't like it, voters on the right. Across the country, the support is, it never goes below 68% in opposition to this cash payment. So people are furious at this, and I would say that it's more a tale of what happens when you have a naive politician who was elected for his good looks, his hair, and the socks that he talks about when he goes on with Kelly and Ryan, than it is what happens with the justice system. Because as Trace Gallagher said in his introductory piece there, no court ordered this payment to happen. Justin Trudeau decided to make it happen. So Cotter sued for 20 million Canadian, or about 16 million US. Before a word of testimony was heard, before a single piece of evidence was presented, he gave him the decision.
It's inexplicable. What can the U.S. government do to force him to use some of that money, at least, or all of it, according to the settlement that this family received in the United States, to pay them off?
Oh, so there is a way you can get, you can sue somebody in the United States if they live in Canada, or vice versa. And you sue where you reside, and then once you get a judgment, if you get a judgment in your favor, then you go to, in this case, the Speer and the Morris family got a judgment in a Utah court. They're now in a Toronto courtroom in Ontario trying to get that enforced. But it takes time. They sought an injunction last week to freeze Cotter's assets, and the court said, no, there's no reason to believe that we have to do this. There's a process in place. We'll get to that. I think that's going to happen later this summer, that attempt to gain access to all this money will go through. But in the meantime, this money could go anywhere.
Yeah,
Omar Khadr's father was one of the financiers of 9/11.
Well, you watched, Justin Trudeau at the White House, and they're talking about the deep relationship between Canada and the United States, and the fact that one of our soldiers is killed by this young man who talks himself about pulling the pin out of the grenade and throwing it at these guys is shocking. And I thank you for bringing some attention to it, Brian.
And I know that you're from the border area, Martha, and I know that you understand there's a deep relationship. So we've raised almost $200,000, and I'd love your audience to consider donating at SpeerKids.com. Almost $200,000 from Canadians to an American family. Just know that the country doesn't back what Trudeau's doing.
It's a good message. Brian Lilley, and we hope people will do that. Thank you so much. Good to have you here tonight.
Thank you.